Hi everyone, now welcome to the Lonto Bash podcast. Hope everyone enjoyed the Thanksgiving. And today our special guest is a good friend of mine, a rising star here in the Baltimore area. Not just a comedian, but an aspiring. I don't know aspiring actress because she already did it, but I would say aspiring actress.
Yeah.
You need to without further ado, Danielle Wooten, also known as comedian Woo Woo. That's a
What's up, Chatty Weddy?
You know, you're the only person officially calls me that.
See, because that's what I do. I give people nicknames. That's my thing.
That's the
Chatty
thing.
Weddy. Yes, that's my thing. You already know that I'm a nickname queen.
But you know what? I think I might fall in the same category because from time to time I like to give people nicknames myself. Just being silly.
Yeah, everybody got a nickname. Everybody got a nickname.
Okay. But you know what? I was actually before we did the interview,
Uh-huh.
thinking how long I've known you. And you know what
It's
the
been a long time. How
well,
long has it been?
I actually have the number.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe this. You'd be shocked.
I, I am. I think I'm shocked already because I know it's been a long time, but I don't know the number. What's the number?
17 years.
17 years?
Yeah.
We raised a teenage son.
Hey man.
Hey,
Listen,
17 years is a
it
long
have to be
time.
listen, it have to be 17 because my daughter turned 17 next
Yup.
week.
And I remember. So, yeah, that is
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so right. I remember when your daughter was born. So,
Right.
yeah, that
Wow.
adds up. That's crazy.
I know, right?
And by the way, the kids look they are growing up and looking so good. I've seen pictures of you and the kids, and I'm just like, Shh, man, we getting old.
Yeah,
What's
man.
going on?
Surprised I ain't got no gray hairs yet, you know. Well, then
Yeah,
one or two sticking out here and there, but
yeah,
that doesn't
yeah.
never
Mine is right here in the front, which is the worst. They right here in the front. So
yeah.
no matter what, even when I got fake hair, I still got these little greaves. This is right here.
It's all good, man. All right, so let's start from the top. Let's start from the top. All right, so you're born and raised in Baltimore, correct?
Correct.
All right, so where exactly in Baltimore are you from?
I'm a West Side girl. You
Mm-hmm.
can probably tell by my accent because I think West Side Baltimoreans have like an authentic Baltimore accent, and my Baltimore accent is so strong. Everywhere I go, they be like, "You from Baltimore? You from Baltimore?" They know I sound so Baltimore. So I'm from like Emerson Village area. That's where my family lives.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy. Like my mother and my father grew up 2 blocks away from each other.
Wow. Wow.
So like my family on both sides are in that area. But for me, my years of growing up, I grew up like basically I still west side but northwest.
No,
So
the
kind of in the Park Heights area.
okay, Park Heights.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Park Heights representing,
So
But yes.
what was it like as a young lady growing up in West Baltimore? Because I spent most of my time. I came to Baltimore back in what '97, and pretty much
Mhm.
I stayed on the east side. From that time to now. So I guess I'm a adopted east sider.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're East Sider.
yeah.
Well, Northeast. You gotta like differentiate East. You
Oh,
grew up Northeast.
oh, northeast. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
northeast,
yeah.
northeast.
Because
All right, all
Northeast hit different than East, and West
right.
Baltimore hit different than Northwest Baltimore.
All right, so we're gonna let you break it down then for folks who have when we hear Baltimore, we think about the wire, especially you see on the
They
T-port,
think
right?
about the wire, but it's so much more to it. It is in like it is a difference.
Yeah.
Like what I will say when I think about it, like as far as if we gonna say wire, non-wire, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna call it. And then we
All right.
saying in the city.
Yeah.
So in the city, wire, non-wire, West Baltimore is giving wire.
That's wire. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
In the
Couch and all that
east,
up front, right?
yeah, East Baltimore, like down the hill, is giving wire.
Uh
But Northwest Baltimore, you can get you
mm,
a nice family home. Okay.
okay. Northwest.
Yeah, northeast Baltimore, you can get
Yeah.
you a nice family home. You didn't grow up in a bad neighborhood, northeast.
Nah. Northeast is nice. Northeast is that's
Exactly.
Golden State.
So
Yeah.
it it's definitely a difference. Like that's the difference. You know how people always say over east, over west, but
Yeah. Yeah.
northeast and northwest is kinda because and actually because north is the county.
Yes.
So in the city, northeast and northwest is like going towards the county. So they're a little bit more,
Yeah.
calmer neighborhoods. But like west side, and east side go
Yeah.
hard.
So you want to say closer to 695 area?
As close as possible. Close as possible. Yes.
That's
Not
funny.
83.
Yeah. All right. So what was it like growing up in Baltimore as a young lady? What was your schooling like from middle school to high school? What high school you went to and all that?
So middle school, I would say is when like I first developed my personality.
Yeah.
So they used to call me because my last name is Wooten, even down to the Woo Woo is all part of my last name. But they used to you call me Wu Tang in middle school.
Wu Tang.
Yeah, they used to be like Wu Tang, Wu Tang. Like I
Yeah.
I was off the middle school. Like I was. It's so crazy because I was always like a shy, popular girl. Like I was a combination of both, though. But I was always like, I guess, very social. I always had jokes. Like,
Okay.
and that's what's so crazy is like some of my friends from like middle school, when they see I'm doing comedy now, they be like, yo, you used to be funny as I don't know what.
Yeah.
Like, one, and remember, I just said about nicknames. Nicknames is my thing. I
Yeah.
distinctively remember I used to catch what we call it the cheese bus, which is the yellow school
Yeah.
bus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
used to catch the cheese bus,
mhm.
and the driver we had, his name was Lloyd. And
Right.
he used to get on our nerves. He would fuss at us all the time or whatever. So I had started calling him punk ass Lloyd, but I couldn't say punk ass Lloyd to his face. So
Yeah.
I nicknamed him Pal. And everybody would get on the bus and be like, hey, pal, hey, pal. And he didn't know we calling him punk ass Lloyd the whole time. That was
Wow,
me. That was
that's
me.
yeah.
That sums up me.
But
Like,
I hope you don't see this. I hope you don't see this podcast, man. Them damn kids. Yeah.
yes, he's like them damn kids. I thought I was their friend.
Yeah.
No, we was calling you pal because it was punk ass Lloyd because you got on our nerves, and he probably know I'm the one that made it up
Yeah.
because I was the riot starter. It's like
Mhm.
no, I wasn't. Like I was, and it was so crazy because it was a transition when I went. Once I went to high school though,
Yeah.
I calmed down so much.
Mhm.
Like because I stepped into a new environment. We just talking about what sides of town. So I
Yeah.
live northwest, and my ninth grade year I went to Mervo, which
Okay.
is northeast, and I
Okay.
ain't know nothing about east side
Yeah.
because I grew up over west all my life.
Yeah.
So going there was like just new territory, and I didn't really know a bunch of people, so it was like I was very way more quieter.
Yeah.
I just did my work and took my tail back over west, like when I was done.
Why? Why? Why you or how you end up at Mobile? Was it grade wise or because the school was just better?
Grade wise, I don't know what I was doing. I
Yeah.
was so when you're in the eighth grade, they give you an option of like if you got good grades, there's certain schools you can go to. They call them magnet schools.
Yeah.
Mervo is actually a magnet school,
Okay.
as crazy as it is.
Hmm.
And I was in a debate between there and Dunbar. So they are schools where you don't have to live in the area to go there because they magnet schools.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So yeah, so because I didn't have to live in the area to go there,
Yeah.
I I don't know what made me choose Mervo. And I think my thing was like business. And originally I wanted to go to Dunbar and do nursing because that was my plan in my head back then. Like, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna be a nurse, and I'm gonna work hard, and that was what I had in my mind,
Yeah. Yeah.
and make money. And I don't know what made me wind up choosing Mervo over Dunbar.
Mm-hmm.
But I went there and I actually wound up making some great friends, had a ball, because
Yeah.
it was a group of us that was West Side kids that rode the bus over
Okay.
to the East Side for school.
Mm-hmm.
So, we all got along and it was cool. I wound up having fun. I didn't want to leave. And when my mother and my father got separated, my mother moved out Woodlawn and she
Yeah.
was like, no, you got to transfer schools. And I was like, I don't want to go here to this county school with these clowns. I was mad. I felt the way. And
Yeah.
then I wound up going to Woodlawn, and then that's where I graduated. Whole time,
Mm.
Woodlawn hooded than any city
Oh
school.
yeah. Woodland High
Yes,
School. Wow.
yes, Woodlawn was off the chain. I was like, oh, Woodlawn off the hook. The whole girl got killed.
Oh. Wow.
Do you remember that story? It's
Um.
it's like a big story. They actually have a documentary on um what is it? I think HBO about it. His name is Adnan something, but he was um what was he, like Muslim or Pakistani or something, and he killed his girl. He's supposed to have killed
Yeah.
his girlfriend, and this was in. I was going there at the time.
Okay.
Actually, I was in the class with the girl that got killed, but
Oh
I
man.
really didn't know her like that because I didn't know a lot of people there because I wasn't from the county, so I
Yeah.
didn't know a lot of people there, so I didn't know her like that. But we was in the same French class together. But it's a
Yeah.
whole documentary on it. It's really good. Adnan Singh, something like that. That's
Okay.
his name. But it's a whole story. Yeah, he's supposed to have killed the girl, dropped her off, and what's the park that they say people put the bodies in?
Um.
Lincoln Park.
Yeah. Lincoln Park over West Side, and that's for
Yep,
It's Garrison. No,
yep.
that's over
That's yeah.
Hilton.
That's not too
Yeah.
far from Garrison
Yeah.
Falls Park,
Hilton. I think it's
kinda.
Hilton Parkway coming up there. But that hill,
Yeah.
Lincoln Park.
Yep. He's supposed to. He put the. That's where the body was found at.
Wow. That's
Yep.
crazy.
And that happened while I was in high school. Yeah. So yeah, Woodlawn was a little ghetto. It was a good school, but it was ghetto. But by the time I got in the 12th grade, like my grades were so good that I didn't even have to go to class. So I just
Okay.
like left and worked and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just was working.
Okay. So what was the first job out of high school?
First job out of high school.
Or you had a job while it was in high school, or like a part-time
I
gig.
worked I worked from the 10th grade on up. I
Okay.
worked at Wendy's.
Oh yeah. You
And
worked
it's
at
so
the drive-thru?
crazy.
Welcome to Wendy's.
Yeah, I worked at the Wendy's on Security Boulevard. It's not there no more, but it
Oh
used to
yeah.
be on Security Boulevard. I worked at that Wendy's, and it's so crazy because one of the guys that now he does a lot of movies and films, and so now that I'm starting to get into that, we
Yeah.
we see each other and work together all the time, and we worked at Wendy's together. We used to have so much fun.
Wow, that's
We
crazy.
worked at Wendy's together in high school, but outside of high school, you know what? My first job, me and my best friend Tracy, we worked at this hotel, which is now like a popping hotel where it's a place called Winks and Kelly's. It's off of Security Boulevard.
Really?
You know what hotel I'm talking about? It's Comfort
No,
Inn or something like that,
no.
and they always be having events there.
On Security Boulevard.
It's off of Security Boulevard. It's on what's that? Belmont?
Yeah,
Is
Belmont
that
Avenue.
yeah, Belmont. So
Um,
the hotel right there next to
it used to be it used to be the Holiday Inn, I think.
Holiday Inn. So it
Yeah.
was Holiday Inn when I worked there.
Okay.
I
Wow.
actually worked there, and they had a regular restaurant in the Holiday Inn,
Yeah.
and me and my best friend worked there. And when I tell, we used to have a ball though. Like we was living life like we should have been at that age because it was like after high school, we would go out and just stay up all night and
Hmm.
then go there and work. We had to be there like 4 o'clock in the morning. So
Wow.
we'd go out and like sleep in the car and then go in there. And then we had to like serve breakfast and stuff like that. And they had like continental breakfast, you know how Holiday Inn have. So we worked in like the kitchen part. And we would do stuff like order meals and then get it and cancel it out so we could eat it. It was so fun.
But don't tell yourself no.
I'm telling them myself, it ain't even Holiday Inn no more. They can't do nothing with me.
I never knew they changed the name. Wow, it's been a
Yeah,
while.
it's something else now. I forget. Something
Yeah.
else. Embassy Suites. It's something else now. It'd have been like 3 different hotels, I feel like.
Wow.
But yeah, but it has like a bar, like it got a nice bar in there called
Yeah.
Winston Kelly's
Okay. Okay.
now. But yep, I worked there. That was my first job. And then honestly, from there, guess what it was? Red Cross.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
How long you stayed at the Red Cross? How long you were there for a while?
It was 15 years altogether.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
15 years. Wow. Yeah, I think I was there for like 5 years.
You was there for 5 years. Yeah.
Yes.
I was an
Wow.
OG, triple OG. I've been there for 15 years.
Wow. So what about the Red Cross? How you lasted so long at the Red Cross? What was it about the Red Cross that you enjoyed so much?
Nothing. It's
You're
like
just
no.
just a check.
It's like no. You know what?
Yeah.
The relationships. Like if in hindsight, when I think about it,
Yeah.
most of those people, the people that I really had close relationships with, I still got relationships with. Like they still my friends to
Yeah.
this day, like my close circle and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
So it definitely was the people. It wasn't the job.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was for sure the people that kept me there that long. And when you think about it, even though the Red Cross didn't pay the most money, but
Yeah.
for you to be coming out of high school,
Yeah.
and I did go to college for a little while because I was going to college and working there when I first started working there, but then I, left college. So without a college degree, I was making okay money,
Which
you
college
know.
you went to?
So I actually went to Coppin for a
Okay.
year, and then
Mhm.
I went to BCCC for a year.
All right. Liberty Road.
Yup, Liberty Road.
Yeah, that's me, man. I was at Liberty Road too back in 97, 98.
Well, that was a little bit before my time. You're a little older than me now. I don't know what to say.
All right. My bad. My bad. Not
But
sure my
no,
age.
you definitely just showed your age just now. Because I ain't going to tell you where I was at
I
97.
thought that was
What you say, 97, 98? I was in high
never mind.
school.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so I went there, but I was just like,
Mm.
it was one of them situations where I just stepped out into the world
Yeah,
fast. You know how it is. Like I moved out, I was working at the Red Cross, and like at the Red Cross back then, you could get so much overtime.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so working became more important than school. But I always wish one thing that I wish that I would have done, but I don't think I would be who I am today if I did it. But I wish that I would have went out of town to college somewhere because I had degrees.
You still can. Never too late.
No, I'm not
There
doing
was,
that
no,
no
there was
more.
a lady that and you can look this up. There was a lady that graduated from college. I think she was like 84.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I still might go back and just
yeah,
to get a little degree because I love learning. I
yeah.
liked school. Like school was fun for me, and I love learning. But I just
Yeah,
because I moved out
yeah,
and
life
tried to
didn't
be grown,
yeah,
bills became more important than school. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go work this overtime. Forget that school, and I
mm,
just got sucked into the Red Cross for 15 years.
yeah. I mean, hey, I totally understand, man. So at the Red Cross, that's where we met. I
Yes.
started. I started. I think it was 2007. Yes, because my daughter was born 2007. Yeah,
Hmm.
Red Cross, and yeah, man, we used to chit chat, talk, shit, laugh.
All the time.
I always knew you had um a sense of humor. I always knew you had
Hmm.
a sense of humor. Um, So I'm just gonna jump a little bit. I always knew you had a sense of humor, and then when I first saw your comedy bit, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me. At that moment, I was so proud
Oh,
because
you was.
I
Oh,
was. I was like, wow, you really decided to make the leap.
yeah, I did. And I'm so surprised because I'm a scary ass
I'm gonna go
girl.
back to that. What was so? At what point? What year you left the Red Cross?
I left the Red Cross in 2000 and the end of 2015 because I remember
Yeah.
because they was trying to make me work New Year's.
Okay.
I remember petty stuff like they was
Right.
trying to make me work New Year's,
Yeah.
and I um I wind up with because I still work from home now at Johns Hopkins. I wind up getting the offer from Johns Hopkins. When I got that offer letter and
Yeah.
seeing how much they were willing to pay me for less work,
Yeah.
I was like, out of here. I typed up a letter and I just was pissed off because I always would work Thanksgiving and Christmas
Yeah.
because I ain't had no kids, so
Yeah.
I could be off on New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
always did that, and they tried to play with me and make me work New Year's. I
Mhm.
came back like plot twist. I'm leaving, and I'm not working.
Oh man, that's crazy. So
Yep.
so you went over to Hopkins, and
Hmm.
how did you decide, or when did you decide? How what was that moment when you said, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna give this comedy thing a shot? What
Yeah.
happened?
So it was so 2016 was such a transformative year for me, like all together. Like I was getting out of a relationship that wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I had moved out on my own.
Mm,
I left a job that I was comfortable in being at for 15 years to
yeah.
start a whole new job.
Mm,
And I started comedy all in 2016. This
wow.
happened like back to back to back. Um, it was actually right before my birthday because I
Okay.
want to say,
Season. Up, up.
yes, Taurus season, gang, gang, that's something else we got in common. And Sashay, her birthday is the first, and
Okay.
that's what I remember. We went
Yeah.
out
Wow.
to a
I haven't seen her in years, man. I haven't seen her in a
oh,
long
you
time.
gotta see her. That's still my sister. She
Yeah.
got a new baby boy. That's
Okay.
my baby. Hmm.
Mm.
But I I went to the show on her birthday, which was the first.
You went to a comedy show.
Um, a comedy show. It was
Yeah.
Cleon, a comedian. He's a big known comedian here in Baltimore.
Mhm.
And I went to a show he had, and he had like an open mic portion.
Okay. And
And he
comedy club was this?
so it was actually he used to rent out this spot called the Cultural Arts Center on
Yeah.
Maryland Avenue.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Yep, he would do it. It was downstairs, and he would do it every Sunday there.
Okay.
And I happened to go this week, and I watched the show, the open mic, and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm funnier than them.
Oh yeah.
And Cleon always do a real interactive show, so he usually like a play a game at the end and get people out the audience and stuff like that. And me and Shay went up, and we wound up going up because it was Shay's birthday. So she had on a "It's my birthday" thing and whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
So we went up and we played this game, and it was something I just felt comfortable on the stage,
Yeah.
and
It was
I
an improv
was
thing. It was an
it
improv
was an
thing.
improv thing,
Okay.
and I still, I was funny. I made people laugh, and so it made me think. It's just something triggered in me, and I was like,
Yeah. It
I
felt
might
nice.
can do this.
Yeah.
I should try it. So, and I ran it by Shay, and she was like, "Yeah, girl, yeah, you can do it. You definitely funnier than them people we seen at the open mic." I was like, okay. So I went to Cleon, and I was just like, "Hey, I think." I'm funnier than these people. Like, you
Yeah.
should let me do this. And he was like, yeah, come back next week,
Yeah.
do a 5 minute set and perform. And the next week was actually Mother's Day weekend.
Okay.
So it was he was like, we having a Mother's Day show. You can do the open mic part on there, whatever, whatever. I'm like, all right, bet. So I planned it, told some friends,
Yeah.
Tanika came and a couple people came. Of course, Shay was there. Yes. And
That's a long
I
time.
went up there
Mm.
and they liked me. They was laughing and I was like,
But,
okay,
but
did that.
we're gonna rush it because I like to pay attention to details because these stories is
Hmm.
important.
Yeah,
So
they are.
you gotta admit, I'm sure you was a little nervous when you decided, like, wait a
Oh
minute,
yeah.
what did I sign up for?
I was
Because
so
I
scared.
mean, Mother's Day is a big weekend, and it's like it's not like it's an open mic and it's a Tuesday night somewhere. Mother's Day people
Right.
coming out, bringing out their mom, grandmom, aunt.
Hmm.
So what was the writing process for you? How did you decide to come up with what jokes? Because you have like 5 minutes is a long time in a comedy world.
5 minutes is a long time in the comedy world. And I was just sitting here
I
thinking,
would I, I
like,
would I would formulate that as a host, because I know in a host when you hosted 5 minutes is a long
it's a
time.
long time when they tell you go up there and warm people up. You be like,
Right.
what? For 5 minutes? Like, that's a lot. Like, it is. It's scary.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, I was just like, okay, let me think of some stuff because I know, just like like you said, we've had conversations and I've made you laugh. So just like with the
Yeah.
rest of my friends, I've talked to them and had jokes and made them laugh. So I was just like, what am I going to talk about? Like I was so scared. What's so crazy is I only remember one of the jokes that I said. I
Really?
don't remember. I only remember the one joke, and the only reason why I remember that is because somebody recorded it.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't remember the other joke. It was two jokes. That's
So, so,
my jokes.
so you didn't write the joke down. You just kind of memorize it.
I did not write it down.
Okay.
I recorded it on my phone.
Yeah.
You know how you use the voice note. I used the
Yeah.
voice note and
Yeah.
recorded it,
Yeah.
and I went over it with Tanika with my friends to see if they
Yeah.
thought it was funny, and they said it was.
Yeah.
And my first joke was actually about the "Watch Out for the Big Girl" song.
Okay. Yeah. The Baltimore classic.
Yeah, I hate that fucking song. I'm like, and that's what it was about. What made it go across so good
Yeah.
when I first did it was because the guy who introduced me, who is also a comedian, but he's known for dancing. He's one of them guys who dance in the middle of the circle at the Paradox,
Okay. Okay.
And that's what my joke was all about. It was about like being at the Paradox,
Yeah.
and I would say, no matter what, when this song came on,
Yeah.
I would get up and walk away. And before I could say what song it was, somebody in the crowd was like, "Watch out for the big girl." And I was like,
Yeah.
exactly. I was like, that's my go get a drink, song. I said, but no matter what, it's
Yeah.
always that one dude that
Yeah.
be in the middle of the circle dancing that'll
Yeah.
come up and try to grab me and be all like this and da 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 da. So like I acted it out. I was animated,
Yeah.
and the guy who brought me up on the stage, he was one of them guys. So I was
Okay.
able to even reference him, and a lot of people there knew who he
You.
was and knew he was a dancing
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they laughed. So
So you
it was
connected with the
it was
audience.
in the stars, right? It was in the stars because I had no clue. And the thing about it is of course I was a fan of comedy and I've watched stand up stuff before, but you look at stuff from a total different lens as
Yeah.
a comedian than not as one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I'm watching stuff, I'm watching it just for entertainment.
Yeah.
But in the past, but once I became a comedian, you look at certain stuff like, ooh, I like how they put that with that and how they
Yeah.
said it this, it's certain things that you pick up on
You
or
start looking.
whatever.
You start looking at the science.
The science of it, exactly. Yep.
And
So it's
no, I'm sorry. I mean to cut you off.
no. I was just saying that was something that I learned
Hmm.
while doing it. It wasn't something that I pre-studied for.
Yeah.
I just went up there. And the one thing that I will say that made me cringe. Now you know this because you know me, Chad. You know I'm a cursor. I curse anyway, or whatever. I got it honestly from my mama. I
Yeah.
swear, that
Yeah.
lady a curse out of remote control. I got it honestly,
Uh-huh.
but when you're doing shows and you on a stage, you can't. So that was the one thing I will say. Like, I associated being funny and being on the stage with like every other word unnecessarily cursing. It was just so that was
So you
something
saying
that I had.
you saying being an oh I guess you're saying at being on the stage, certain audience, you have to kind of tone it down.
Okay, can you hear me good still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I
Yeah.
I had my AirPods in because I didn't want it to be no echo.
Now you sound good. You sound good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm sorry. What you were saying?
No, I was saying that I guess I was saying that with different type of audience, you may have to turn it down about like the obscenities and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't, and you can still tell your jokes. And like I don't think I ever switch up who I am. Always authentically me,
Yeah.
and I'm always authentically, telling the jokes that are real to me, but I switch up my delivery upon
Okay.
who
Yeah.
I'm in front of or whatever. Older people, they don't want to see a young girl up there saying all these curse words and
Yeah. Yeah.
obscenities,
Yeah.
so it's ways that you can still talk about the things, but you don't got to be as vulgar. But
Yeah.
those are things that I learned over time. But yeah, when I first I was up there like Monique, that's somebody that I'm looking at, so I'm up there like mother
Yeah.
I'm cursing every other word.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, but after a while I was like, okay, all right, now I know better, and I had somebody tell me that or whatever, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
at first I was mad because I was like, what?
Yeah, I'll go back to this. So, what were some of the critiques in the early couple of sets that people? 'Cause I'm sure you asked folks for their feedback,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course I'm sure you sat down and kind of look at some of your footage, and
Right.
see how because when you're in the stage, you think you're doing of course you're doing the best of your ability, but then when you look back, you might say, okay,
You like,
maybe I spent too much time on the left side of the stage, or maybe I ran through this
yeah,
joke a little too fast, or maybe different than that.
yeah,
So what's some of the
yeah.
critique? Mm,
Cursing was one of them. That was the main one. That was the first. That I think that was my first critique, and it was the first one that I really did feel like I needed to adjust.
yeah,
Especially when I start getting like more opportunities,
yeah,
and
yeah,
was able to do more shows. And I will go down it, but I done did some wild shows. I done did a little bit of everything.
yeah,
Like I done performed, doing so many different things, but it's like me doing that, I think that made me better and made me way more versatile as far as when it comes to comedy. But I would say that timing
yeah.
matters.
Timing, yeah.
Timing matters for sure. So that's something that I learned over time or
Timing
whatever.
as far like the delivery of the joke, or timing. Explain the timing factor.
So timing as far as the delivery of the joke and how much time you got on stage.
Oh yeah, that's yeah,
So if okay, so if especially when you first start, and it's so
mm,
crazy because people think that it's harder sometimes to like headline or have more time because you may not have enough jokes, but
yeah,
sometimes it's harder when you got less time.
yeah, yeah,
Because all right, like I said, starting in the beginning of course with 5 minutes, okay, I only got two jokes. And see,
yeah.
when I first started doing comedy, I thought that I had to tell a different joke every single
Every time,
time I got on the stage
yeah, yeah,
until I learned about a set.
Mm.
I didn't know what a set was. So a set is basically like you have a set of jokes for however length of time
Yeah.
that you say, and over time you work on them, like the jokes grow. So
Yeah.
I might start off telling the joke one type of way, and
Mm-hmm.
then over years I done added stuff, removed stuff, switched
Yeah.
stuff out, and made them better and better over the years. But
Mm-hmm.
that comes from performing them more than once
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So, but originally I thought I had the, and it was, and that was something else, a critique I said or whatever. And because it was like, I had a time where I might have told one or two jokes that wasn't that funny. And
Yeah.
people looked at me and were like, why you ain't telling one that you had told the last
Yeah.
time? That was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I could do that. Like I really didn't know.
You're right.
And you
Mm.
know, so once I figured that out, so yeah, so with timing is just like if you only got 5 minutes, you want to do your best within those 5 minutes, but you
Yeah.
still want to complete a joke. 5 minutes can be one joke,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
like
true.
now, and but when I say time and also is in between those jokes, you still gotta have the punchlines. Like you'll have the main punchline at the end, but you
Yeah.
still gotta have parts where it's funny in between. Cause
Between.
if not, then it's just a long, boring ass story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you ain't doing a TED talk, you know.
Yeah.
So you gotta have, so that was something else I learned. It's a term that we use called punch up the joke.
Punch up the joke. Okay.
Punch up the joke. So I might have a joke because I'm a storyteller. That's how I tell my jokes.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
usually telling a story. So it's like if I just go straight through, tell a story and ain't nothing funny to the end, by
Yeah.
then I might have lost people attention. So they
Right.
still ain't even laughing at the end part. So
Yeah.
you gotta punch up the joke in between to make funny parts in between and then have the last boom, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. What's what comedians? Because I'm sure you looked at comedians, and do your research and whatnot. What's some of your favorite comedians that you like to follow or take tidbits from?
While the main person is the person that I work with, which is
Mhm.
Darren Fleet.
Okay.
So that's who I tour with and everything. And what's so crazy is I met him on the comedy scene and did stand up with him first
Okay.
before I knew about his social media presence.
Mm.
So I admired him as a stand-up comedian, but I knew he was somebody who was popular,
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of people would come out to see.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it and how popular he was on social media. I was like, oh no, this man got millions of followers, right? Like that's crazy.
But
So
that's a good way. That's a good approach. It's a good way to approach um the other way around first. That way you have a better appreciation of the person. Because sometimes
yeah, so
you get
I
yeah.
I
Mm.
did because a lot of people know him from social media,
Yeah.
you know, and over time people have been in situations where they know somebody from social media, they enjoy their videos, but then when they go see them do stand up,
Mm-hmm.
they not that funny.
Yeah.
But it was the opposite way for me with him, and he just somebody who's so good at both.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning so much from him as
Yeah.
far as having a social media presence, because that
Yeah.
is not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really a huge. Of course, I'm into social media because I do comedy and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but that's not really my thing. But
Yeah.
I learn constantly from him. Like
Mm-hmm.
like he teach me everything every day is content.
Content is
Everything
king.
every day that you do is content.
Yeah. Content is
So
king.
I definitely learned so much from him, and he definitely one of my favorites. Anytime you tour with a person and you hear, their jokes over and over again, and it's still funny,
Yeah.
you like. this shit is funny today, and it was funny yesterday when I saw you say it too. So,
Yeah.
and vice versa, he feel the same way about me and my jokes. But so he's one of the people that I definitely look up to. Also, it's an OG in Baltimore. His name Larry Lancaster, and
Mhm.
Larry is somebody who I knew his name in the Baltimore comedy scene before I even considered it, thought about it, nothing. Like I would hear his name all the time. Like it was two people whose names I would hear all the time. Larry Lancaster and Ray Diva was the female.
Okay.
And I feel so honored to actually have like a good relationship with both of them people.
Wow.
Because those was the names that I would hear when it came to the Baltimore comedy scene. And
Yeah.
they both taught me so much. Because I don't know if you know, like a couple of years ago, before I started touring with Dern, I actually was a part of an all-female group from Baltimore, and we called ourselves She More Funny.
Oh no, I never knew. Never knew.
Yeah, and it was four of us, all of us from Baltimore. All of us had totally different comedy styles.
Yeah.
Ray Diva, she was the person who put it together, and so like during the pandemic when stuff was shut down,
Yeah. Yeah.
we was going down Atlanta doing shows because they was wide open.
Yeah. They was wide open, man.
They were wide open, so we was traveling together, going down to Atlanta doing shows and stuff like that. So working with all of them, I learned so much because everybody do something a little bit different. Like,
Everybody can do one style.
yeah, one girl, D-Lo, she's so good at off the dome stuff. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like me, I can do off the dome stuff. Of course, I think with any comedian, you mix that in with your regular jokes, but usually I stay to my set. But
Yeah.
she can sit up there and hold 20 minutes and go in on one person
Oh yeah.
for 20 minutes. Like, and I think that's a amazing skill set in this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing skill. So
She's like a
I learned
she's
so
like a
much from
female
it.
DL Hughley.
Yup, yup.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. You know who else is like that? Um, Carlos Miller from
Yeah.
85 South.
Yeah.
Carlos Miller like that. I
Yeah.
went to see him one time. It was
Hmm.
a Russian lady at the show. He
Hmm.
spent 30 minutes
On the lady?
talking about this Russian lady
Oh
and
man.
had everybody in there crying, laughing. He didn't
Mm,
even go into his set, his jokes. Like he
yeah.
spent 30 minutes on it. So I think that's an amazing skill sets. I learned so much from them. Ray Diva taught me so much about the business side
Yeah.
of comedy. um Larry Lancaster, like I said, he taught me so much or whatever. And I appreciate both of them because both of them, even to this day, like if somebody say, hey, we looking for
Yeah.
somebody we haven't booked before, they say my name.
Yeah. 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 That's
So
really good. That's really
mhm.
good. I thought about it once before, stand up comedy.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean not well, let me be
I could kind of see you doing it, but I just feel like you too cool for school though, Chad.
I mean, I'm just saying. I always say well, of course I do hosting and stuff, but I always like, you know what? 'Cause I love comedy. I love going to the comedy clubs. It's been a while since I've been to a comedy club, but I really do enjoy comedy. And I say, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do an open mic one time just for kicks and giggles. But I think I
Yeah.
could. I think I could do it. I think I have the wits.
I
You know.
think you do too. I think you do too. I think that's what
Uh,
I was about to say. I think you would be more of a witty comedian.
yeah, witty. That's
Yeah,
yeah.
more of a witty comedian. I have another
Like
guy,
dry, like dry
Dave.
comedy.
No, I don't call it dry. I have
Uh,
another guy with his Dave Butler.
Dave
He's
Butler.
somebody who I think, like as far as comedy, he's super, super witty,
Uh,
but he know how to still, like if he doing, because I see a lot of times, I'm gonna say it like this, a lot of times with the witty comedians,
Yeah.
They'll do a lot of, shows, Caucasian shows,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that a lot of witty comedians do that because I feel like those shows, when white people come to shows, they listen, they sit, they listen.
Yeah.
So
They're
if
more
you
attentive.
if you if you're doing witty comedy, they gonna get it. They gonna, laugh at the right time and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Whereas though sometimes, I ain't gonna say all the time, but black
Mm.
people, they want you to shuck and jive,
Yeah. They want you off the gate. You gotta be funny.
Yeah, you
You say
gotta
boo.
slam bow on them,
I just hear boo. It better be funny.
Yeah, yeah, right. So they don't play,
Yeah.
and I will say he is a person who can
Yeah.
still be witty, but still be entertaining
Mm.
for, a crowd that's like that or whatever.
I'm gonna
Uh,
look him up. Hmm. I'm
yeah,
gonna look
you
him up.
gotta look him up. He's so dope. He's so dope.
All right.
He
They
went
they.
he went
they
viral for
mm.
going in on a heckler.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? How you deal with hecklers?
You know what's so crazy?
Mm.
Usually for me, for the most part, especially with traveling with Dern,
Yeah.
like I feel like the headliner always brings a certain crowd, and you know what that crowd is going to be.
Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like Dern brings a crowd where they think that they are his friend,
Okay.
and they friends of his friends. So I'm their friend too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So they'll heckle in a way where they want to be a part of the joke. They may be agreeing with me. They not disagreeing with me, but you still talking while I'm up here talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a way to do it where you can recognize the person and then move on. Like let
Yeah.
them know, like, all right, this is my show, not
Right.
yours. You
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta go as far as to shut it down like that, or sometimes you can bring them in and joke about them a little bit, like, oh yeah, because you be doing that shit or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and go
Yeah.
back and forth. But I've never been in a situation where I've had an angry heckler where I had to,
Yeah.
go in on them or say, get them
Well,
out of here,
um, you might want to write something down, and keep it in your back pocket just in
yeah,
case.
just in case, yeah. But
Just
I
in case.
kind of know how to handle them, like just
Yeah.
just say whatever, kind of ignore them, you know,
Yeah.
and then eventually and turn the crowd against them. That's what
Yeah.
you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to turn the crowd against them. Once you turn the crowd against them, now they know, oh, it ain't slick no more for me to be
Yeah.
up here keep saying stuff.
It's just rude, man.
It is. It's so rude. But like I said, some
Mhm.
people get drunk at comedy shows. They be
Yeah.
lit.
Yeah.
People get drunk, and like I said, for the most part, if I do have one, they a happy person. They drunk and they like, yeah, girl, that's what I was saying. I what I'm talking about. I'm like, all right, now shut
Yeah.
up. Okay, you know,
All right. So let's jump into your acting. How you got into acting?
that's crazy. I don't even know, cause I don't even. You see what I said about social media? I don't even like to look at myself on video.
Yeah.
So to be acted is crazy. It is. So I over the years,
I did
just
what
from
I did watch the whole Who Did I Marry? I did watch the whole movie.
you did watch it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did watch Who Did I Marry? I watched the whole thing. Paul, my
Yeah.
man Xavier, man, it did my man Xavier wrong, but we'll get into that. And
Ah, no, I did it wrong. No, Xavier was a liar. Yeah, nobody got time for
Xavier, man,
that.
my man Xavier was trying, man. He was trying, man. They
He
had to
was
give him a
a
little time. He was
liar,
trying to get himself together, man.
man. But you know what's so crazy? So for me with acting, like just because I'm in the arts now, with comedy, I
Yeah,
mingle with so many different people in entertainment. So it's people that act, people that, do poetry, all types of things.
yeah,
So it was just a situation where I've done a couple of like small things where
Mm.
somebody hit me up and be like, "Hey, Woo, we want you to come, you know, do
Yeah.
background or play this little part and stuff like that." So I've did a couple of things in that aspect
Yeah.
first, and that's what actually made me meet Alvin, who
Okay.
did the movie. Okay, so Alvin Gray. So that's what made me meet him. So I met him from
Uh-huh.
just doing like little small stuff,
Wow.
and me and him actually did like a skit together
Yeah.
with Desi Alexander. He
Hmm.
had a skit series he was doing kind of around the pandemic time,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
asked me to come play a part, and I came and did it, and that's how I met him. And at the time I didn't know who he was. Like, I didn't know he was like out here making movies like that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he actually was acting in it at that time, because he's a really good actor just as well as
Okay.
he is as a
Mm.
director. So the the story from the movie that you just said, the wife that didn't know who she married, is really
Yeah.
the true story of this lady on TikTok
Yeah. I remember that.
named Risa Tisa.
Yeah.
And I happened to, it was all over social media.
Yeah.
Me and Tanika, matter of fact, happened to start looking at a little bit of it, but I wasn't I was like, I ain't watching all of these videos.
Yeah.
And I want to say maybe like the next day after she started, it started going viral about her videos.
Hmm.
Alvin was on it, and he was like, I need somebody to play this role. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I could do that.
Oh, you volunteered?
Because, yeah, so what's so crazy is the reason, and I'm gonna tell you, it was the smallest thing that made me say that I could do it.
Uh-huh.
The girl on one of the videos when she was talking, she had that pink thing in her hair, and she had her hair rolled up. And I got one of those things.
Wow. That was.
And I was like, I
It
got that pink hair thing. I can play
Yeah.
that role.
Nah, you did a good job
Not
there.
even thinking about, like, girl, you gotta act for real, girl. You talking about some daggone roller in your hair. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I messaged him, and what was so crazy is when he posted it, like three other people tagged me.
Yeah.
Plus, I said me.
Yeah.
So he inboxed me. He was like, "You down to do it? You down to start filming on Monday?"
Wow.
I'm like, "Yeah."
Right on.
I done said, "Yeah." Now I
Yeah.
gotta do it. What's so crazy? And also right before that, he got another movie called "The Nurse That Saw the Baby on the Side of the Highway,"
Wait, he
and
did.
that was about.
Yeah.
Don't
He
you
did a
remember
movie.
that girl who
Yeah, I
said she
remember
saw
that.
the baby and
Yeah.
got
I remember that
kidnapped?
foolishness. Yeah.
So when that happened, that was real big on social media, and people had like reaction videos and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So he one day messaged me, and he was like, "Can you redo this video for me? We changing the name and we changing the location, but I
Hmm.
want this video." And it was a girl who was like that, her video went viral, or her reacting to the girl lying.
Yeah.
So I had just did that for him, and I was in that movie. Like I said, it was just a little
Yeah.
small part. I ain't even had to leave my house to do it. I did it on my phone and sent it to him, and he put it in the movie.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta, like, I'm the main person, like,
Mm.
and he talk about Monday, and I had just got in contact with this guy. I met him before, but he used to do stand up comedy, but he was acting in different stuff, and I had met him, and
Yeah.
I was trying to think about somebody who would have been, because I'm tall. So I was like, it got to be somebody that's taller than me in stature and big. So
Yeah.
he fit perfectly the profile.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
knew him already from acting and stuff, but he never been a main character in nothing either.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he was like me doing little small stuff. So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, you want to do this movie with me? And he's like, yeah. So we both went into it like
Wow. That's crazy.
green,
That's
so
crazy.
green.
It actually
Like
was. Now that you mentioned it, man, you guys actually kind of work well together because, like you mentioned, you, you mentioned you tall. You don't need you for that particular scene or that particular role. You don't want a short person, and he was kind of
exactly.
he's older too, right? He looks older.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
he fit the profile
yeah,
of
he
the
fit the
guy.
profile. Yeah, he fit the profile. He fit the profile.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was nice,
And
man. I
so
enjoyed it. I definitely
yeah,
enjoyed
so that was me. I was like, so I hit up Alvin and I was like, because Alvin had already said he wanted, I was doing the girl. So I was like,
it.
Alvin, did you pick a guy yet? Because I got somebody I think would be perfect for it.
Yeah,
And it's somebody that, you know, I'm cool with, so I'll be comfortable,
yeah, yeah,
with him. So he was like, all right. And he looked at his page and he was like, all right, bet. And that Monday we started, and when we first started filming, it was so crazy
yeah,
because like a lot of the movie was improv.
mm,
Like, like he gave me lines, and he gave me like the basis of the points
yeah,
that he wanted me to say, but
yeah,
he was like, make it your own.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like I was doing that, and there was certain little things that I was telling him to do, like and what
I,
he
I just
also this
I just got one question. Who came up with the power a drinking
I was
thing?
getting ready to say something about the Powerade. So Alvin, if
Yeah,
you look at if you look at some of his other movies, he
yeah,
makes something a part of that. It's always something like the
something.
nurse
Yeah,
that saw
some
the baby on
something.
the side of the
Yeah.
highway. It was Cheez-Its. The
Okay, okay.
girl was eating Cheez-Its and
All the
everything.
time. Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, so he was like, it's gonna be Powerade with
Yeah,
this, because
yeah,
the girl did talk about him doing pop, and that's what I also did. I sat there and watched all 52 of that girl videos
girl.
beforehand, so I could know the entire story.
Yeah,
And he was like, Powerade is going to be the thing.
yeah,
So every time he lied, or every time he sipped the Powerade, he always got the
yeah,
Powerade to every. So that was the thing. Every time he lied, he sipped the
yeah.
Powerade.
That was some good directing though. That's some good directing.
Uh-huh. But
Yeah,
yeah, that was Alvin idea to do the Powerades, and them Powerades was disgusting. They was salty.
yeah,
I was like, he couldn't stand it. He had to do two things. He had to drink that Powerade, and he had to eat cheesecake, because he was like, I don't like cheesecake either, but I didn't mind. I was like, oh, this cheesecake good. I'm gonna eat my
wow,
cheesecake. Or the scene when we was in the car in the beginning.
yeah,
But it was so crazy. Like, and my main thing, it was like, I didn't want to look acty.
yeah,
You know how you see like them TV movies and you be
yeah,
like, oh, they look so phony. I didn't want to look phony. I was like,
yeah,
please don't look crazy.
yeah. And like I said, I always tried to be honest with people as far as when it comes to the art, because you never want to be that person. Yeah, 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 and deep down inside, well, they could have do something a little better, or sometimes things might be a taste. But
Right.
I honestly, and I try to look at stuff without a biased eyes when I know the people in
Hmm.
whether it's music or anything in entertainment. And like I said, I really did enjoy it. The acting was good. And the one thing about this particular movie, there's not a lot of actors in it, so you pretty much have a to
Nope.
focus on the people on the screen. It's not like a bunch of randoms all over the place.
Yep.
Um, so it was a very good storyline. Like I said, the acting was believable. That's why I joked about do my man Xavier wrong. You know what I mean? But
Yes. Yeah.
you know, but yeah, it's and another thing too. I think it's very relatable. I think a lot of women
It was
have
relatable for
situation.
me.
Yeah, I think maybe not to that extreme, but there's a lot of similarities.
Right.
In everyday relationships or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I feel
because the nigga ain't gonna lie to me for so much now. I mean, like, all right, now, come on, now, all these lies. But
you're
I I definitely could relate somewhat.
right.
I could relate somewhat of
Yeah,
what everything, but for everything except for that wig. I hated that wig. I
Yeah,
did. But
yeah,
I had to do the wig. I had to be like how she was, you
yeah,
know. So I had to do the wig. I had to not have lashes and all of that stuff or whatever.
yeah.
So that was killing me. And it was so crazy because in the midst of filming, we honestly only we did that movie in like 4.5 days.
Wow.
And I had to go out of town to do a show out of town.
Yeah.
So I had to go out of town and do a show with that wig on. And I was like, I don't want to go out here with this wig.
You,
Or I
you
did
should
not like that wig.
you should make it part of your set. You know.
I did. I did.
There you go. There
I,
you go. There
and
you
it
go.
worked. It worked. It was
Yeah.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah,
All
I
right.
went out of town with the wig and then I came back and we did like a half a day of filming and we were done. Like, but Alvin, he's so good. Like, he's such a good director.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be thinking like, you sure that's it? He be like, I got it. Like he'll
Yeah.
just be like, I got it. You be like, you sure you got it? Like I can't question this man. He know better than me,
Like I
you
got
know.
it.
And then you don't know what the results are going. This is the thing about acting that
Yeah.
I never thought about before, and I know now from doing things is that you don't know what the movie gonna look like all together collectively
Altogether.
as a
Yeah.
whole
True.
until you finding out when everybody else finding out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's why you
Whenever
were
the
like,
premiere is.
yeah. That's why I keep asking, did he get it? Because you just think about the one couple sets you took, takes you took rather.
Right.
That's the whole thing. But yeah, man. But that's cool, man. I'm really happy for you, man. I'm really, really happy for you, man. So I might have to get Alvin a call, man, because I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to get on. So
Okay. You gonna do some comedy or you gonna do some acting? Or
nah,
both?
let me start with the acting first. Let me start with the acting first.
Yes. Okay.
Let me start with the
No,
acting.
seriously.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
serious,
telling
man.
you,
I'm down.
I'm plugged in. I'm plugged in now. I got you. I'm
Yeah,
plugged
I
in
know people
now.
now. I'm big time. I'm big time. I know people. So
Yeah, I'm plugged in. I just did Desi Alexander. He just did a film called Flood.
yeah, just about to
And
ask you that. That was the one that was released Thanksgiving, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
no, that's not the one that came out Thanksgiving. That
No, it was.
came out Flood. It was another movie I had came out on Thanksgiving. Flood is the one with Desi
He does so
Alexander.
much
It got
movies, man. I can't keep up.
I know it got Justin Hilarious in it,
Mhm.
and it had so many dope people that was from Baltimore and the
Yeah.
DMV area in the movie, and that movie was so it exceeded my expectations.
Okay.
Like I had a small part in it, but
Yeah.
like basically he highlighted a lot of different artists from Baltimore in the
Yeah.
DMV period in the movie. But the film altogether was amazing.
Yeah.
So he did the premiere for that. What was that? November the 16th, I think it was. So
Okay.
we did a premiere here for it, and even the premiere was so nice, red carpet,
Yeah.
it was so dope. Um and then after that, I did another film. This was mostly on the DC side. It was a lot of DMV people that
Yeah.
was in this film. And it was actually the same guy who was one of the main characters in the movie Flood, Goofies.
Yeah.
So he hit me up and he was like, I want to do something for Thanksgiving. So we did just a little quick little
Yeah.
family, funny
Family.
little, Thanksgiving film. But it was cute though. I thought it was cute.
Yeah. I
Not
started.
just because I was in it.
Yeah, I started watching that one. That's the one with the grandmother and the cousins and stuff trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I started watching that. Yeah, that was cool too. But I really enjoy. That was cool too. But like I said, there's a lot of people in that one in that one movie.
It was a lot of people in there. Yeah, it was a lot of characters. But I think that was the point of it.
Yeah.
It was like one of those, little hood movies where they got everybody from Atlanta in there or something, like it'd
Yeah.
be T.I. and this person and that. It was like one of them type of movies. So
Wow. Well, so before we wrap it up, man, anything else? You any last things you want to say to maybe your fans or or any projects you got coming up or how people can follow you also, and comedy shows and so forth.
Yes. Well, you can follow me at woo woo WOOWOO _ the comedian.
Mm,
Um, 2025 about to be lit. I'm about to be doing more movies, a
yeah,
lot of touring. We got a lot of dates already booked up all over. So I'm gonna be from the East Coast to the West Coast to the Midwest, you
that's
know.
what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be traveling, and it's so crazy to be in this space right now because this was something that I prayed for. Like
Yeah,
once I really, really started getting into comedy
yeah,
and I started having a passion for comedy, and I was doing a lot of shows locally because
yeah,
I can stay busy and book locally, in the DMV area. But I always was like, I want to get to the point
nah,
where
you gotta travel.
I'm traveling, I'm going here, I'm going there,
Yeah,
and I'm there now. Like it's happening, So I'm
yeah.
traveling. I'm definitely going to keep acting and doing movies and stuff like that. May see me and Chatty Waddy in a film near you soon.
Hey,
Who
hey,
knows?
hey, hey, hit me up, man. My phone is always open anytime, 24
Yes, I'm gonna
hours.
let you know. I'm telling you.
I'm serious.
I know, I got you.
You know me, man. I like to maximize opportunities. So where do you see yourself in the entertainment space? Like what's I don't say what's a plateau. So I'll put it this way. So I guess
Like
as a
ultimate
artist,
goal.
yeah, I guess as an artist, every artist want to get a Grammy, right? So in your line
Yeah.
of work, comedian, actress, um, I guess would it be a Golden Globe? That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, uh, rather than awards, I would rather just be like a household
What's
name.
my name? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like a
it don't have to
girl.
come with the awards. I just rather people be like, oh, Danielle Woo Woo Woo, and like, the one, like, and they can name different stuff, like, oh, she played in that movie, and oh,
Yeah.
she got a stand-up special on Netflix, and
Like Miss Pat. You can be like,
I already got the name for my stand-up special for Netflix
oh yeah. Well, don't tell us. Don't tell
already.
us. We want to mess it up.
Yeah, I ain't go. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
tell you. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, like so,
Mm,
and even down to maybe a talk show, like a
yeah.
live studio audience TV talk show type situation.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like ultimate goal. Like, once I'm retired, that's like my retirement goal.
Nah, it's gonna come faster than you think, man. And the reason why, like I mentioned, Miss Pat. You know Miss Pat. Um.
Yes, Miss Pat is such an inspiration. I just
Yeah.
was telling my homegirl that.
Yeah. So look at her story. It sometimes it come way. Sometimes you might have that goal as 10 plus whatever, and it might come way sooner than you think. So
Yeah, so,
have to be
and
ready.
that's my plan is to be ready so I don't gotta get ready.
Facts. Facts. Well, woo woo. I'm every time I say woo
Checkmate.
woo, I laugh because I remember, like I said, I remember the Red Cross day. There's talking crap, bullshit, and they used to call you woo, and it was I think it
Right.
was oh my god, it's such a long time. Pierre and D um
Davon.
Davon, yeah. I think Davon was the
Uh-huh.
first person. I think Davon was the first person I heard calling you woo.
Yup.
Yeah. So man, I'm so proud of you.
Ah,
And
thank you.
yeah, I wish you all the best, and keep the hard work, keep keep doing the hard work.
I
And
will. I
you
will.
have
And same to you, man. I see you. You be doing your thing, and I'm proud of you too. Look at us. Look at us Tauruses
yeah, man.
out
Look at
here
us. All right, guys. So
doing.
once again, what's the social media platform?
Um Instagram or on Facebook, you can look up Woo Woo WOOWOO the comedian.
All right. Woo, thanks so much appreciation, and you know we'll talk soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Bye bye. I don't know how to get out of here. How do I get out of here?
Yes, folks, that was comedian Woo Woo. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. And of course, make sure and subscribe to all platforms. If you were watching via YouTube, make sure and subscribe. If you're watching or listening rather via Amazon, Apple Music, or Spotify, make sure and hit the follow button. And if you want to donate, of course, it's Cash App at Alonso Bash. That's Cash App at Alonso Bash. So see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for your support. Peace.